CBS Atlanta News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
I love it. I absolutely love my home, and I thank Habitat for Humanity for it, and I thank all of the people that came and decorated my home. It's absolutely beautiful.
That's one of the many people who have achieved homeownership thanks to the nonprofit organization Atlanta Habitat for Humanity. Ms. Simmons has a brand new home in Jonesboro, and thanks to one of the partners, the home came fully furnished. Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Adam Murphy, consumer investigative reporter at CBS Atlanta. Habitat for Humanity is celebrating 30 years as one of the largest, most affordable single-family housing developers in the city. The organization prides itself on building green. It's their objective to preserve the environment through a unique retail outlet. Take a look. The Craftsman-style homes on Gaslight Lane in Northwest Atlanta are part of Atlanta Habitat for Humanity's latest effort to build affordable quality homes. Qualifying homeowners receive a loan at no interest over 30 years.
Our volunteers build with our staff. Our staff is trained in green building. They're trained to manage volunteers to make sure there are no mistakes. And those houses are great looking. The families participate in it, but they save that family $35,000 to $40,000 in labor.
Atlanta Habitat has a long-time commitment to green building, and every home is built energy efficient.
We take particular care if there's a lot of trees around to try to preserve the trees and get our houses facing so that we get the warm heat of the summer is covered by the shade, and then also in the winter they'll get a lot of sun so that it helps on their heating bills.
Homes feature energy efficient windows, low flush toilets, hardy plank siding, and low drought plants. And when it's time to decorate, welcome to the Restore, a retail outlet that's open to the public and is connected to the Atlanta Habitat's mission. Everything is repurposed and recycled.
Every penny that we make in that store on a net basis goes towards building more homes for our families.
Selling merchandise at the Restore over the last decade has not only made $3 million to put back into the program, it's kept 6,000 tons out of the city landfill. The Restore is on Memorial Drive in Southeast Atlanta. It's open Tuesday through Friday from 10:30 to 6 and on Saturday from 10 to 5. For more information, log on to atlantahabitat.org. And joining me now, we have the president and CEO of Habitat for Humanity in Atlanta, Larry Del Martin, and executive vice president and chief operations officer, Dan Maddox. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Now, with a 30-year history, you have a lot of success stories, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about what you all have been able to do over that time period.
Well, quite frankly, we've been able, with a lot of caring Atlantans, to build almost 1,300 homes. By the end of this year, we will have reached that mark. And that means more than 5,000 children and their families now have a safe place to call home. So that in itself is fabulous. But what we try to do is build our houses in clusters like you saw in the film, so that our families will have each other to build from for safety and for just neighborhood and community, so that they can strengthen the entire neighborhood around them.
One thing I noticed, Dan, you may be able to touch on this, is that you take a serious focus on building green. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. We've been building green for a long time, and essentially what that means is building energy efficient homes and also trying to have minimal impact on the environment. So some of the things that we do, if you look at the outside of our home, we put hardy plank siding on that's going to last a long time. We put roofing shingles that are going to last a long time. We put vinyl clad windows to keep the heat in and keep the heating bills down. Number of things like that. Drought resistant plants so they use less water. In our actual inside, we have that, we foam it, we insulate it so well that we have to pass a test that allows us to show that that's an energy efficient. And what that translates for our families is lower bills.
Larry Del, there is this idea out there, I think, that people assume that if they want a home from Habitat for Humanity here in Atlanta or anywhere, it's free. It's a myth?
That's true. That is a myth.
Okay, elaborate and tell me why it's not necessarily a free home and who qualifies, if you would.
Well, when you hear affordable, there are lots of things that come to mind, but for us, They're affordable in large part because we're so careful with the expenses, but they're also affordable because the volunteers put in the labor that saves $35,000 to $40,000. The big part is the families have to qualify. They have to be able to pay for the mortgage over 30 years. They build it and they buy it. They build it, they buy it, they own it. But they have to pay full cost of what the house cost and the land cost. The deal is they don't pay any interest. We're the mortgage banker. We loan them the money over 30 years. I know you'd love that, wouldn't you? At no interest. And so therefore, the volunteer labor and the no interest loan help to make it affordable. Isn't that amazing?
It is. And you know, the housing market right now is back to like early 1990s level. I mean, we have higher prices on houses, lower inventory. So this might be an option for someone who would qualify, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Many of our families come from one-bedroom apartments where they've rented. They're paying the exact same cost that they would for that one-bedroom apartment and sometimes two-bedroom apartments that are not necessarily well kept up by the landlord anyway. And now they have the ability to buy their own home.
And Dan, talk a little bit about the Restore, which we saw in the story that just aired.
Absolutely. Well, it's a retail outlet, but more importantly, about 11 years ago, we decided that we wanted to have a revenue stream of our own that we generated. As you know, we go to donors to get money, we go to sponsors to get money, but it was very important that we have our own revenue stream. So 11 years ago, we started that. And in the last 11 years, we've contributed on a net basis almost $3 million to our families in terms of building. That Restore, so it's a retail outlet where we sell new and gently used items, and we recycle. In all 11 years, we've kept 6,000 tons out of the landfill. So we not only are selling, we're recycling, we also repurpose items. And that Restore is open Tuesday through Friday from 10:30 to 6 and Saturday from 10 to 5 during daylight savings hours.
Why are you all personally involved and so passionate? What is it?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm an in-town dweller. I've lived here almost all my life, and I just believe that this is the very heart of the metro area, and that we owe it to try to help families that would otherwise not qualify for home ownership. Give them a chance, because children need a safe place to grow up in so they can dream. And so for us, it's all about the children. It's really all about the children, and all the families that come to us say, I've made the decision to save more money, to lower my debt, because I want something better for my children.
Thank you guys so much. It's fantastic. And as I understand it as well, you all educate these new homeowners.
Absolutely.
They get some training going in. This is a great program. Thank you all both for being here and joining us today. Larry Dell, Dan, great information. Now, for a little bit more information about Habitat for Humanity in Atlanta, go to atlantahabitat.org, or you can call 404-223-5180. Great information. And when we come back, we will speak with a longtime volunteer who has worked with Habitat for Humanity for many years. We'll tell you how you can volunteer as well after this quick break.